Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerd Age, where we discuss everything nerdy. My name is Mick. With me, as always, are my co-hosts Josh,
What's up?
Cory,
Hello,
and Jona.
Hey, guys.
Welcome back to the show, guys. Our main topic for this week is going to be the last episode of Book of Boba Fett, episode 7. Something I don't remember the
In
title.
the name of honor?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
yeah.
That's it. So, without further ado, let's jump in. All spoilers.
All spoilers.
Oh, spoiler.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
No, that's the sound effect. Yeah. That's
The old baby cry.
yeah. What'd you guys think about Josh? Did you watch it at midnight?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I know. Hey, good job on the video. By
Yeah,
the
we
way,
did a
guys.
reaction if you guys want to check it out on the on the YouTube page.
It's so scuffed, but at least we made a video.
So Crystal and I stayed up. We had been staying up for all the episodes, so we were like,
Yeah.
might as well for the finale do it as well. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. I know basically everything we predicted didn't happen. Which I'm like, hey, sorry, Jonah.
I feel like we
My
cast
boy-
it.
Oh no!
You went
I know,
crazy.
my boy Icarus, he flew too close to the sun. He got burned. But I mean, as far as like what happened in the episode, I thought it was good. It was exciting. Like they saved all the action for the end, basically.
Yeah.
I have some nitpicks about some of the stuff that happened, but overall, I thought it was like a good season finale where we got some exciting things happening. It was kind of the culmination of his story. I know a lot of people were like, where's the character growth? What have we been doing? You know what I mean? And I feel like they kind of brought it home. Like for those people that missed it, they like basically beat you over the head with it in this episode. Like,
Well, it was like, where's the character development? I was like, well, that was the first 4 episodes.
Yeah,
like the whole thing with the
right.
sand people that people were like, why are we spending so much time here? It's like, well, it's establishing why he's changed,
Right.
You know, so yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, I actually thought Luke was going to show up when they first saw the X-Wing. I was like, dang, okay.
Yeah,
Luke's
me
up.
too.
Luke's here.
I get why they didn't though, because he would have been overpowered in the
Right.
situation. So
Well, also here's the thing that I'm a little bit skeptical of, or I guess trepidatious about, because I feel like with Luke, there's a lot of people saying now that they have to be careful how they, like a real Jedi doesn't use violence, like you know how this whole stuff. So I just think that maybe there was like, well, if he's in that situation,
Right.
we can't have him like.
He can't just show up and wreck
Yeah,
the pikes
like
because
killing,
he's like
cutting pikes in half. Now, Din Djarin can do that with his Darksaber, but so I think that's kind of, they were like,
Yeah.
hey, maybe they were thinking of bringing him in there, but then they're like, you know what, maybe it's going to be too much opening up a can of worms, which I'm like, I want to see.
You want to see
Luke
those
chopping
worms.
some people up, you know? I'm
do
okay
you want
with
to
it.
see him? Okay.
this is the few times where I say, I didn't want Luke here. Because I think that he would have stole the show. I think that Boba Fett's time to shine against, what's his name? Cad Bane. It would have, would it even have happened? Like, they would have had to, like, somehow occupy the most powerful Jedi,
Right.
like, for him to do his own thing. Like, I don't know.
He would have wrecked those droids so fast, and it just would have been like,
He just goes,
all right, it's over. We're done. Get the pikes out of here.
so that's the only reason why I'm like, no. Because we already got, like, Bad A Luke in Mando Season 2.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say but.
Can I push back a little bit?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
What if,
Why are you always pushing? Why are you always
don't-
pushing?
like,
Push it on
it's
me.
a lot-
Gently nudge.
He's pushing
yeah,
on me.
okay, I'm gently nudge back.
Go ahead.
So I agree with that if Luke was there from the beginning, but what if he shows up, if he would have just shown up at the end? Like, you still
just
have the
think he would
Cad
still-
Bane
I think
and
he would
Boba stuff, but this
okay.
was more like a bookends to, like, he shows up to drop Grogu off. You have, like, not
Okay.
he's not, like, controlling everything, but it's like... Because I do think it was kind of interesting that he just put Grogu on the X-Wing and just sent him off by himself.
Yeah.
That was an interesting
It's got other things to do.
choice for me to make, for
you
them
to
to make.
What do you think, Mick? Do you think Luke would have been a better episode with him there, or
I think I was with everybody here that's saying, yeah, Luke is going to show up, but I think you're right. I think it would have taken away from.
yeah, we're pushing back?
Yeah.
I think it would have taken away from Boba Fett. Yes, it would have been cool to see him be,
I'm just imagining an episode where they're trying to do Mando, Boba, Grogu and Luke, like
Yeah.
on top of that.
Possible.
Luke's flying
Totally
around
possible.
and he's like, hey, what's going on down there? Let me go investigate.
I'm not saying I'm saying he could have shown up at the end, and I thought it would have worked better with him like actually having a conversation with Din about why like he chose you or whatever. To me, it was a little clunky. And the other thing I'll say is
McClunky.
we talked about we talked about this a little bit during our reaction. But I felt like we keep talking about like, oh, Luke would have taken the spotlight from Boba. But I feel like they had dumb characters taking away the spotlight from Boba. Like they focused on the Vespa gang. They focused on
It's because they already
Tally. They focused on the mayordomo guy. And I just think like that kind of took away. I would have much rather have Luke in that situation than them focusing on the spin guy.
Because you didn't like that.
bro.
Dude, that was so funny, dude.
That was pretty lame. I'm not gonna lie.
The 360 pistol shot with the monocle guy. Oh man, that killed us.
Yeah.
And they killed my boys off too soon.
I know that was
Yeah.
The
sad.
Gamorrean guards. I was like,
Yeah.
could they not have pushed the Vespa gang off the cliff and saved the Gamorreans? I would have
liked that.
much rather have that.
Oh man, yes.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I think the only problem with that is that basically all of the investment that they've done in these new characters, they don't have like any like payoff at all. Even though it wasn't much of a payoff, but it's a minor payoff. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you, bro. That's a reason why I want like Jedis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's get some in here. But I mean, I just don't think it fit really.
Yeah, that's fine.
But what Mick? What do you think about the episode?
I mean, the episode in general, I liked. I same as you guys. I had some nitpicks. I think that my like nerd mind. I think that we wrote a better episode.
Right.
I think they definitely had some missed opportunities, not involving Crimson Dawn or Kira or having a bigger something above the pikes. It felt like there was something missing there.
I feel like we wrote a movie.
Yeah, pretty much. But you know, I liked all the episodes leading up, and for what we have seen in those episodes, I think it was a perfectly fine finale. Boba Fett got some really cool moments. He rode the Rancor, which was awesome.
Yeah, that was sweet.
King Kong Rancor.
I know, dude, it is.
Around the town.
Even the end concept art was literally
Right. Yeah.
he was holding a lady, like, just like King Kong. Like,
So that was really cool. Yeah, I agree. The mayor, whatever, Twilight dude, he's been annoying this whole time. Really annoying in this last episode.
They had a great opportunity to kill him.
I thought they were going to kill him at that point.
yeah, use him as a
thought they were.
distraction, kill him.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was cool seeing Grogu though. He was. I liked his moment with the Rancor. I think it was a cool callback to season
rhino.
1 of
What
Mando
was it?
with the. What's it called?
the Mudhorn.
Mudhorn.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool callback to just his, how he evolved with the Force and just maturing that way. So I thought that was cool, a cool moment for him. Yeah, overall, that was pretty good.
I think just to piggyback off what you said.
Piggy in.
The thing that I immediately thought with Grogu was when he puts the Rancor to sleep is just all the moments that Ezra in Rebels has with like his communion with animals and creatures. So I was like, that's kind of interesting. They don't have all Jedi have that ability,
Right.
and so it's kind of interesting that maybe Grogu has that similarity with Ezra. I don't know if they'll ever like push that or go into that more, but that's the first thought I had. I was like, oh, he's doing something that Ezra would do,
more in
which
tune
is
with
kind of cool.
nature. Yeah,
Grogu is Ezra's son. What you saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, cool.
It's just kind of cool.
I was just gonna say I do like the moment where he's like using the Force on the big robot thing, and it's kind of like you're like, oh, what's he gonna do? And then he just like takes the bolt out. You're like,
Yeah.
I like that's a nice little
it's a reminder.
misdirect.
He's just a little dude.
Yeah.
He's very fresh in training. Yeah, I thought that was great because everyone's expecting like
Something
rip
crazy
a leg
that-
off
yeah.
or crush it but it's a huge droid. So yeah, that was hilarious. I actually like that. What did you think about the episode, Jonah?
Same with you guys. Again, we said this in the reaction. I was more disappointed, I think, than you guys, but that's because I did it to myself. I do this with every Star Wars. I always shoot for the moon, and I'm always wrong. But I never learn, because for me, that's part of the fun of these shows, is to kind of go crazy with, like,
why not?
I would do this and I would do that. Unfortunately, you end up getting disappointed, like I did. No Han Solo. The good things, I thought Boba Fett was good. I thought having Din there, that scene where they're fighting together was awesome. Boba using his knee rockets was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought Fennec Shand was probably the coolest. Like when she goes and just kills everybody, like all the guys from the syndicates and all the other, like that was really cool. I thought it was going to be Boba, and then it's her. So I think the action was good. I thought all that was fine. But there were just the parts of me, like Mick said, I think they missed an opportunity with having someone over the Pike Syndicate, because it felt like they were teasing that in the other episodes, and then for there to not be anything, to me, felt weird. The Han Solo stuff, like, yeah, whatever. Like, they didn't have to bring him in. I thought the Luke thing was a little clunky, and I saw some people complaining about, we just put him in an X-Wing. How does he know that he's going to show up to, like, people? The Empire's been chasing this kid. He knows that he's just going to go to the right place, and someone's going to be like, take him to Din.
Yeah, he's got Mother effing R2-D2 flying it, bro.
He flew.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he has no idea who Tally is. So he's like, oh, go to Mos Espa or Mos Eisley, and then just go to this random hangar, and then assume that the person there is going to take Grogu. Like, that to me felt a little like, it's a bit trusting.
I think stuff like that, though, you have to just kind of...
Yeah,
I mean, it's not that big.
You don't think
a deal.
you don't think he had a feeling? You don't think he's that strong in the Force? He knows what's going
R2?
on?
I'm just saying, it did feel, to me, it felt a little like not thought out as well. I thought it would have been better if Luke showed up at the end of the episode and handed him over to Din. I thought that would have been like more personal and better, in my opinion, for Luke's character. But again, it's a nitpick. But I did think they could have done a better reveal in that. But yeah, I mean, again, the problems I have with it are the characters that they focused on that I didn't like. Throughout the whole series, the things that drug it down for me were those characters we talked about. The Vespa gang, the mayor's helper, and then Tally. And I felt like they kind of doubled down with like giving them extra time, that I would have rather them show more of like Cad Bane, because I felt like he showed up, had a conversation, he's gone for the next 30 minutes, shows up at the end. I would have much rather seen him like shooting people, have cooler action scenes with Cad Bane, as opposed to seeing the girl with the arm shooting people and being like, hey, let's go snipe these people, and going up. To me, it was like, I didn't need that. So that would be my complaint of the episode.
Yeah. On the Cad Bane point, I would say I agree with you to a degree on the fact of not really taking advantage of his skill set. And in the past, he's been so tricky and sly and just so smart. And it's like they did kind of a little bit of like showing off that intellect, but like not even close to the degree that I thought they would do. Maybe there could be like a hostage situation or some kind of situation where he's like just totally outsmarting them.
Yeah.
But it felt like, oh, hey, you can't count on Freetown. And that was like the extent of how smart he was, which that was smart to kind of cut off allies. And that was good. But like, I don't know. I just remember all the episodes from like Clone Wars and stuff like that. And I just remember him being just so slippery and just so smart and like he just well thought out. So I don't know. I just thought there was a little bit of missed potential with Cad Bane as well.
Can I push back?
You don't have to ask. Just push.
No. I thought he was fine because I feel like his slyness was like, oh, turns out the Pikes killed those people and Boba Fett doesn't know. So that was his whole idea to draw him out, which it almost worked. He almost drew out Boba Fett out, but it's only because of Fennec Shand that she's like, hey, don't do that. You're like being emotional.
You're doing like a little bit of mental warfare, but it felt weak to me because it was like you blink and it's already done. That's for me like that. Just my issue with it.
Yeah.
But like we're kind of getting at is, I think we all just wanted more time, maybe, to kind of expand and explore those storylines. But it was only a limited episode.
I was fine with him. Like Cad Bane, that part was good. Like you're saying, like that was totally Cad Bane, like him playing mind games with Boba, trying to get him angry to engage. But then I feel like it then took like 25 minutes where he's just gone, right? And I would have rather seen him in action a little more. He just kind of shows up there at the end to fight Boba, and I'm like, you introduce the character, he comes in, he's ominous, he's scary, he's playing these mind games, and then he's gone, and you just have random Pike guys running around and the droids. And I just felt like, man, I would have rather seen him like picking off some of the Freetown guys, like just shooting people, taking them down. Would have felt like the action would have been more intense and meaningful as opposed to the slow droids kind of walking around and them running around in circles. I felt after a while it was like, okay, I've seen this. Like you've been going around circles. These droids are so small, they're so slow, and you're kind of just like running away from them. I would have liked them to switch into Cad Bane kind of like picking people off and doing that. I would have felt it would have elevated the action to be like Boba Fett being like, hey, I got to take this guy out. Or Fennec being like, we got to take this guy out because he's a problem. I felt it would have created a better like climax to the show. And that moment where they fight, you know, it's kind of like, because he just kind of shows up out of nowhere and you're like, oh, where have you been, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think how I would define it is the fighting or the battle didn't feel like it had stakes, even though it did. It also didn't feel like it had a ton of weight to it. It felt very like, I don't know. It felt not arcadey. What would I describe it as? It just felt light. I don't know. For some reason,
it's kind of like a video game.
It felt video game-esque. Yes. The only emotional part that I kind of felt was like the Rancor. Weirdly enough, I was like, yo, this is like a young Rancor, dude. I don't want it to die.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's armor, dude. And I was like, I don't want it to die. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel like I'm connected at any point. Maybe at the very end of the Boba Fett versus Cad Bane fight, where I saw his staff and I was like, he's going to do it with that. That's how he's going to beat him.
That was cool.
And that was symbolic. And I wasn't as emotionally attached to it, but I was like, that's cool that they did that. That was dope. That's one of my favorite parts, actually. That and probably Grogu just pulling the thing. But yeah. What were your kind of your highlights? What were your favorite parts of the episode?
Yeah, I mean, I could do without people from Freetown. I can do without the Vespa gang. Like, those were the lowlights for me.
Okay.
My favorite part was the moments with Mando and Boba Fett when they're going to come out. When they both come out and they're shooting and they're both like flying around with their jetpacks. That was sweet. And then both of them, like, one gets knocked down, the other one picks him up, takes a hit. Like, them just working together and like basically kind of like solidifying what we've seen like throughout this series, is that Boba Fett needs people around him. Like, I think that was like very symbolic of what we've been building to in this story. And then obviously the showdown between him and Cad Bane was awesome to me, just because of the history that they've had, the things that he says to him, kind of a thing. And then, like you said, the symbolism of him being like, I've got my armor, it takes me out, and then he's going to get killed. But he's like, well, I still have this that I got from my family, basically, or, you know, who I was adopted into, what I've learned from them, and that's what saves me in the end.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good way to kind of like put a bow on things. And I was bummed that he stabbed Cad Bane in the heart or whatever, but there was a weird beeping noise. I don't know what that was all about. Hopefully it means that Cad Bane's not dead and he's coming back.
Yeah.
And then there you go.
Yeah, let's take bets on if he's alive or not. Who thinks he's alive? Who thinks he's dead?
Alive.
Alive? What do you think?
I think the beeping was for a reason, so I think he's alive.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna let Filoni finish him off, which is weird to me because I'm like, why do that if you're gonna like the beeping throws me off because I'm like, I thought it was a good moment for the characters, but then it just for me it kind of cheapens if they bring him back to kill him again because I was like, Boba.
What about this? Are they trying to redeem him?
I don't think
so.
you can do that with every character. They're already doing it with Boba.
They should have just killed him. Like, I don't
It
know.
was just a
it's kinda weird
transponder.
prolonging it.
He's calling out his brother Chad Bane.
Chad Bane. He's a buffer version of him, a little bit younger.
Nice. Go ahead.
I have another. So here's my other complaint. I think there were small things in the episode that I wish, if they would have done them a little differently, would have changed my perception of Boba Fett a little bit. And this is, again,
So you're
most
right.
people are going to
Okay.
say it's a nitpick.
Okay.
But to me, I didn't like how they go to the bombed building and they're in there with the Vespa gang and everybody. And Boba's like, let's go back to the palace.
Yeah.
And then the girl's like, we're not leaving. And she's like, and then he like looks at her and he's like, we stay, kind of thing. And I just felt like I was like, I wish it would have been that Boba made that decision, as opposed to like someone like
Why?
going against him.
Why?
Because it felt more like he's done it before. He did it before with them, right? Where he goes in and he's like, you guys
But doesn't
need
it-
to pay it back.
but-
And then she's like, we don't have any work. And he's like, get out of here. And then she says something. He's like, well, you work for me now.
It might
right?
have been written a little weakly, but doesn't it tie into the sense of community
Yes,
and
but
family and stuff like that? Doesn't it
he's-
tie in a little bit instead
thi-
of just dictating?
no, but I
He's
feel
open
like,
to suggestion.
yeah, but I feel
gonna
like
push back.
it would have been. I feel like it would have been better if he comes to that conclusion of like, we're not leaving, because the whole series he's talking about like, I'm the protector of here, I'm the Daimo, like these are my people, right? And then Fennec Shand constantly is like throughout the whole series is being like, hey,
He says no to
you have to do
her.
this, and then he's like, okay, like we got to do this, and then
She's like, you should kill him right now. And he's like, no.
yeah,
Like, he
but,
stood up to her a lot.
yeah, but what I'm
like
saying
2
is
or
like
3
even
decisions.
a lot of his other things is like he's always asking her opinion on things, and like she's like, we need to go to war, we need to do this. He's like, okay, yeah, and so in that moment, I think it would have better for me if he comes to that conclusion where like Fennec says we need to go back to the palace, and he says no, we need to defend the people.
I will say,
To me, it just felt like maybe like you're saying how it was written was clunky, but
McClunky.
But I
think
just
so.
feel like it would have been better if the other way.
I
for me.
think it also emphasized it because he had like 3 points back to back where he's like, oh yeah, I'll defer to your decision. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like he had like 3 things where he's like, let's do this. And they're like, well, we should do this. And it's like he kept deferring to
Yeah.
other people. So I feel like that kind of like put a magnifying, although we kind of like not cringed, but we were like, oh, that's kind of weird on the first, when she first said that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it could have been written differently to where it has the same effect, but it sounds more natural. But yeah, I'm on the fence with that.
Yeah.
It doesn't help too that it was from an annoying kind of
Character you don't
I
like.
think if it was a character that you actually liked, your response would be different. But you're like, I don't care about these people.
wonder-
Why is Boba listening to them?
I wonder if it came down to his acting, how he delivered it. Like
I
how
wonder
he,
if Grogu said it.
if Grogu said it.
Part of that is right. If Din would have said we should stay here, but I just think in general, it kind of you took away a heroic moment for Boba Fett to be like, no, we stay. This is where we make our final stand. Like in any Western, it's always the main character, that's saying, no, we're staying, we're making a stand. And you kind of gave it to another person to be like, we're not leaving. And then him being like, okay, you convinced me, we're staying. It was kind of like his reluctance instead of him being like taking the challenge and being like, we're staying. That to me was like, that's where I was saying it would have been better for me if giving Boba that moment.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that wasn't a highlight for me. So we both kind of had the same feeling of it. But maybe if the actor, what's Boba Fett? What's his name?
Tamora Morrison.
If he would have maybe
Aquaman's dad.
Maybe if he would have delivered it differently, maybe it would have felt more natural. I don't know, but I mean these are nitpicks. But okay. For me, honestly, I think that it was okay. I think that what did I rate it? I rated like an 8 or something like that. Which kind of looking at it, I think I'm pretty confident in that rating. Because I didn't have issues with Luke not being there like you did. I didn't have a huge issue with I think the pros raised it up. I think I really like Grogu's parts in that. I also like Mando's parts in that. I I don't care too much about the annoying curly-haired chick. What's her name?
Pelly.
Yeah.
Pelimato.
Don't really care about her.
I don't know why you're calling her Tally earlier.
Oh, that's Tally Lintra.
Yeah, that's the girl from Last Jedi.
I thought you were saying Towley. I was like, what?
What is that?
A South Park character.
Same thing. Pally Tally. Same.
So, yeah, I think that. Oh, and considering that, like, this doesn't feel like this is going to, like, it wasn't an episode that was like setting up future series or anything like that. It was like tying a lot of like a lot of knots. Like it was like tying ends, and it's like, yeah, Mando and Grogu, they have a future.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. It just felt like it almost felt like the end of a series. You know what I mean? Like they were trying to just end it without having too many loose ends. And so for that, I think it kind of didn't have as much hype behind it. It didn't have as much excitement at the end of it, being like, oh, dude, I can't wait for this.
Yeah.
Which for me, I don't really care too much because I'm excited about Mando's next, situation. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they tied up loose ends, but it was like a decent setup of like, all right, now we've got Boba Fett's gang here, kind of a thing. And in Mando season 3, when
Sure, it can
Mando
be
has to
called
come
upon.
back, it's like, oh,
Maybe.
Black Chrysanthemum's there and all those other people or whatever.
He's
The
going to go
Vespa
back
gang.
and everyone has Vespas now.
But the thing is, they didn't introduce like, oh, here's the greater syndicate.
Right.
Yeah.
There was nothing like that I was looking forward to. Yeah, sure, they have established characters. That's
Right.
cool. But like, I mean, every show has
Right.
that.
It wasn't like a big cliffhanger.
Yeah,
Which I
no.
mean, because I think it's because this is Mando season 2.5, like they've been saying. It's like we're setting up for Mando season 3 and what's happening in Mando season 3.
Yeah, that's the only setup that they did.
And we've tied up these loose ends in this story, and they'll show up in a later series or whatever, later season. But there's nothing like with these characters that we're like, well, what's going to happen next, kind of a thing, which they may or may not explore it. But
yeah.
Yeah, for the end credit scene, we got Cobb Vanth, I guess, is not dead. Like, I don't think anybody
See,
knew.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, to
Right?
me it fell flat. I would have liked to have seen
Han Solo.
Crimson Dawn. I talked to you earlier about
He's in the
like a
bag to
different
think.
idea of the end credit scene being Han Solo bringing Ben to Luke and having that like
Ugh.
set up something like
That
that.
would have been insanity.
too soon.
So
That
But it would have been
been-
crazy. That would have been something that people would have. I guess my point is like, if you're gonna do an end credit scene, it's got to be something that it's gonna blow people's minds, right?
but it also has
it's
to be
gotten-
something that are planning on actually working out.
yeah.
But
think
I
they
don't know
are-
if they would actually do a like a university's,
Yeah.
No, but
like
Jedi
series,
Academy.
Jedi Academy.
But
yeah.
think about
I don't
this.
know if they would do
Think
that.
about this.
They could.
Luke said Grogu's going to be my first
He wasn't,
student,
though.
right? And then what if?
It was Ben Solo.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So what if the end credit scene is Han Solo showing up and being like,
Because it has nothing
and
to
then
do
and then
with
Luke
that.
being like, "You're going
'Cause
to
it
be
doesn't
my
have
first student,"
it
or
doesn't
something
have
like that.
anything to
And
do
then it would
with-
be
And it's just Adam Driver's big old ears. They de-age him, put him on a kid's body.
He looks like a little elf.
I think that would be a way better.
I mean, it's
end
cool.
than-
Obviously.
We're saying, right?
What?
sorry I brought it up.
No,
No, I'm just saying, like, obviously that would have been 10 times better than
100%
Cobb Vanth in a freaking back to
yeah.
tank.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
Thundercat.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, I really like Cobb Vanth. I just knew that he was already alive.
Right.
Like,
He got shot in the shoulder.
I
Yeah.
had like not for any second thought that he's dead. And
I wanted the Gamorrean guards to be in there more than Cobb Vanth.
They had to share
Both
it.
of them.
They had to share it.
Well, I just can't wait for
Arms are
the
this way. And everything.
yeah.
'Cause
The
they
Book
fell.
of Cobb Vanth is going to be sick, though.
But
Book of Coffee. He takes the throne.
yeah. Well, it's just going to all be going to be flashbacks of
Yeah.
him when he had the armor.
I missed that armor. Okay, so I think we should do a rating for the episode each, and then also a rating for the whole series, like the whole season. I mean,
okay,
because I think like the episodes were very
it was up and down.
up and down. So what'd you get? So what would you rate this last episode, Josh?
I think it's an 8.
Yeah,
It's a solid episode. I liked it.
yeah.
It didn't blow my mind, but it's still like a solid 8 for me.
8.
I think I said 8 or 8.1 in the reaction.
8.1.
yeah, 8.
8. I think I said 7.9.
Yeah,
More I think about it, it's
7.5.
going a little down to 7.7.
Okay, all right, 0.2, nice. Now, yeah. What about the whole season?
As a whole,
Yeah.
it's an 8.
No way, really?
Yeah, I think it's a solid 8. I enjoyed everything they did with Boba Fett, like the backstory and stuff like that.
These ratings are like absolutely mean nothing. I love it.
Yeah, it does.
What are you talking about?
You just,
Oh, I
it
know
just
it's
literally
crazy.
gauges how much you enjoyed the episode, you idiot.
See, we're going out of 10, Jonah. That's what we
But
go.
I'm trying to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to talk about something else, Jonah?
I'm just it's because I'm trying to go back and think. What did I give Mando's seasons? Because I'm like,
We never rated Mando seasons.
in my
Do you have
heart,
a little journal?
I rate them.
You write them down there?
Okay.
Continue.
I mean, you could tell us your Mando rating right now if you wanted,
8
buddy.
for Josh. Corey, what was the rating?
Well, I think the thing about the episodes is some of them were like 7s, somewhere in there, and then those the two before this last one were really good in the 9s.
10s, dude.
So you rated the whole series as an 8, just straight
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
I don't mess around with decimal points.
Yeah. Wait, that's
It's still
that's
one.
rookie score.
8.1. 8.0 is still a decimal
Yeah, I think 8.2
Nope.
No, it's
is
not.
pretty
No, it's
good.
not.
Yeah, it is. If there's a point, there is.
I think 8.2 is pretty fair.
8.2?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the episode with Luke in it was over a 9. And I
Over
don't think
9,000.
I would rate anything under a 7.5 in this whole series.
Averages, bro.
So if you're using math,
yeah, I don't. With my ratings, I don't use math.
see that's
I go
why,
on feelings.
See, that's why you hate the ratings. You're like, numbers are hard. What do you think, Mick?
Yeah, I'd probably go around 8.1.
8.5.
Same thing.
I mean 8.05. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, I'd still think obviously 5 and 6 I think were the best episodes.
Yeah.
By far for me. But yeah, I think overall it was maybe not the best Star Wars I've ever seen. I still think Mando season 1 and 2 were much more enjoyable, and I think it's just because I like Din Djarin as a character better than Boba.
Yeah.
This show though has made me do a 180 on Boba because I was never a Boba Fett fan. I like Boba Fett now. I think he's a much more interesting character. So yeah probably around 8.05.
0.5. What about you, Jonah?
7.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What are we doing?
Right, actually, yeah.
7.
True.
7.9.
Stupid idea, Corey. My
Boba
bad.
teas.
Oh, what did you say? 7 point what?
7.9 Boba teas. I
Nice. Yeah, we're all
I
pretty
think
much
what
the
you're
same.
saying is right. The 2 episodes kind of elevate it. The more I think about
Bring
it,
the average up.
I do think that there's stuff I would have
Like
done better.
Did you
or
rate?
liked better?
Did you rate any of the episodes under like a 7.5? Like were any episodes like you just really didn't like very much?
I think the one that I would say was the worst is the
Vespa.
Vespa chase one
Yeah,
because
that
I
was
just
the
felt
lowest
that
one.
that one was like it was the shortest episode. The chase was just not
Was that
good.
episode 4?
No, I think that was 3.
3 maybe.
3?
Yeah, it was 3 because the first one,
Doesn't matter.
the second one was
Really
the
don't
train.
matter.
The second one was the train one,
Numbers
and then
don't
the third
matter.
one was the
yeah.
Vespa one.
Yeah.
So that one I think was the lowest one.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Are you guys wanting a Book of Boba Fett 2,
No,
Mick?
I don't think they need one.
So Fennec.
I mean, if
Chrysanthemum.
Boba Fett will show up again, but he'd show up in Mando 3 or something else. I don't think
You should
that,
want like cameos
Yeah.
where they pop in. Maybe they're an episode or 2 in.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to bring the whole clan. Like they're not going to bring the whole group. So
I wanna see that
boys,
Vespa-
they're gone.
Vespa
Probably.
riding up in Mando 3.
I want the Vespa gang to have their own series.
Okay.
Book of Vespa.
That's the best thing you said on that.
I just want cameos where like Boba Fett's like Chrysanthemum had to go home. His mom got sick, so he's been, just like that kind of like keep us up to date to what's going on.
Let us know how you're
like,
doing.
So you just want them to make like a social media account.
Yeah.
Just like give you updates.
Yeah, I feel like we've explored Tatooine enough in this period right now. Like we're like, okay, we chased the Pikes off. Things are getting better here.
Sure.
I don't need a whole new season of like, what's going on Tatooine now? You know what I mean? They can show up in Mando season 3 and I'll be fine. Like if
Or you
you
could
know-
watch like Dune maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Then you got the spice tree.
Yeah,
there.
but I feel like we've kind of, like you said, we wrapped up the loose ends on this.
Yeah.
Boba Fett's, we've established Boba Fett's got a Rancor. That's sweet. You know what I mean? Like there's cool things happening, but I don't need to see every week.
If they did another season, to me it would have to be something just completely different. Maybe even take it off Tatooine.
Yeah.
But if they do more of the same, like, oh, it's a power struggle and oh, there's a syndicate, like, to me, it would just feel
a retread.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for me to watch or
There's something kind of refreshing a little bit about like having the end of an actual like season or series and being like,
It's
cool,
done.
that's that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, and I think the whole point of the series was to show how Boba Fett survived. Like that was people always ask what happened to Boba Fett. That was the whole point. Well, how he survived and what is he doing now? What does he turn into?
Yep.
And I think that's exactly what they did. Mando season 3, Mando can be going somewhere. He gets an invitation to the wedding of Pally and the mayor. And he's like, oh, nice, they're getting married. And Boba's officiating. It's going to be at the palace. Like, that's all we need.
Sick,
like, just those kind of updates. Chrysanthem's burying his mom on
You want like a
Kashyyyk.
10-year anniversary episode.
Well, just like
No, like
every once in a while,
happened?
he's getting
Like-
stuff going on. Like, oh,
Baby
Fennec
Yoda.
Shand just opened up a shop. You know, Fennec Shand sandwiches.
Grogu went to school eventually.
Yeah,
Did,
just stuff like that. You know.
Question for you guys: did Max Rebo die in that
No,
explosion?
he didn't. They
wasn't
specifically
there.
showed that they had the other band playing.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
It was
I
his
have
day
a-
off.
I have a feeling Max Rebo is the one mastermind.
I would love that.
I mean, he
behind it all.
survived two of
Kira
these
in a
bombings.
suit,
Yeah.
zip open, and she was there the whole time. I mean, I think there's obviously still plans for Boba Fett. There's still plans for Cobb Vanth. Those characters.
Yep.
I think Cad Bane is still alive. I think we'll see him again. Just maybe not.
That's who I
Boba
thought when
too.
he said someone else is my back to tank. I thought it was going to be Cad Bane, where he was like went back later, and then I was like Cobb Vanth. I
So
was
maybe Cad Bane and Ahsoka? Because what else would he appear in?
I don't know.
Right? I mean, I don't know where.
I
We
think
don't
he's
know.
probably-
Like,
I think he's probably
think
dead,
they
dead.
just left that in case.
maybe it might be true.
I
But
think-
why did they do that close up?
Beeping. I don't know.
Do you know why?
They emphasized it.
Because they
Just to mess with us?
gave themselves an out.
An option,
If they
yeah.
decide, hey, we've thought of something.
want
Dave
the Book
Filoni
of
thought
Boba.
about something being like, hey, maybe we could use him. Then they'd be like, guess what, guys? He's back. But
Somehow,
I just think
Cad Bane has survived.
Yeah.
has returned.
so. I just think that's kind of like they left
Chad
themselves
Bane.
open. But as of now, he's dead until his brother Chad Bane comes in. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that closes the Book of Boba Fett.
Ah,
You like that?
I like that.
People hate this show. Oh, Lordy.
People hate everything Star.
You think they
People hate everything
They hate
in general.
it?
Yeah, people are like, well, who asked for this? I didn't like that.
Oh no.
Well, today, did you hear a bunch of people complaining about the new cruise that they're doing in Disneyland? You know, that hotel?
Yeah.
Well, they announced that the story, the in-universe story, is that Han Solo and Leia are on this cruise as their honeymoon. After Endor, they go on a honeymoon.
Okay.
And all these people are like, this is outrageous. Why would they do this? This is just taking it. I was like, George Lucas made Star Wars to sell toys. Like, Boba Fett was a cool guy. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, that was a cool action figure. Like,
not a good
so
shit.
to me, like, people are outraged over it. I'm like, first of all, you can't afford to go anyways. So it's only going to
Yeah,
be for
it was
rich
crazy
people.
expensive.
And I was
Is
like,
it?
Yeah, it's like
I don't-
$3,000
What's
for like
the-
one night or something crazy.
What's the issue there, though?
they're saying that this is like they're just merchandising.
They're
and like,
monetizing
they're
it.
monetizing the story. Like
That's
Leia
exactly
and
what
Han
the
would have
story
never
is.
gone on a honeymoon cruise after Endor.
Do they know what a movie is?
I know, but it's insane. Like one of the
so
guys from StarWars.net was like, "I defend Disney on a lot of things, but this is crossing
is
the line." I was
indefensible.
like, "What are you talking
What a weird hill to die
How
on.
does he-
That's so
dumb.
strange.
That's the dumbest. How does that affect anything?
Well, that's the same thing. I was like, Disney has their park where it's in universe. You
Yeah,
go to a
it's-
planet, it has storyline elements.
like
It's like
saying
immersion.
Galaxy's Edge is canon
Yeah.
in the Star Wars
It's like-
timeline.
That's like saying like you're mad that they sell lightsabers.
Yeah, it's
I
ridiculous.
don't understand what the like.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe
It's insane.
maybe if it was like, oh, this goes against canon that they've, but not even that.
Yeah, I was like,
It's just something to complain
yes,
about.
that's what it is.
Huh.
Yeah, what is it? The
Negativity
people that
sells.
hate the Star Wars the most are the fans of Star
Yeah,
Wars.
there's always something to complain about.
Dumb.
And
stupid.
I'm one of them, right?
Yeah,
I complained
no
about this. I complained about this episode, but I feel like the difference is I'm not being like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm done with this. Like, this is done. I'm like, I didn't like this, but I'm like, I'm gonna move on. The next thing Star Wars comes out, I'm gonna be like, yeah, and exaggerate everything. But I'm still gonna be a
And
fan.
then in
It
the
just
end,
feels
be
like,
let down again.
right?
And that's a great fan.
Exactly.
That's what we do this for. Anyway.
That's what we call ride or dies.
You've been doing a lot of dying
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah, I owe Mick some Golden Corral.
Yes, you do.
And we did
Can't wait.
tally up the score on our predictions.
Yeah.
And I think you guys had 5 points.
Yeah,
You
Jupe and I got
Josh.
5, and
Me and Mick had 6
Boom.
Yeah.
Feels good to win.
gold medals.
Yeah.
And if you ain't first, you last. By the way, boys.
I just got a little carried away with the Bad Batch. I was like, yeah, they're showing up.
baby.
Omega's showing up. They have the actor
Yeah.
for the Bad Batch. I mean, Rex is showing up, obviously. But, well, maybe next time.
It's the same actor. It'd be so cheap.
Yeah.
It'd be so
It's like
cheap.
they save so much money.
I'll learn for next time. No, I won't.
Hey man,
You're going to say Alden Ehrenreich console is going to show up in Obi-Wan.
You never know.
Not a bad call. Not a bad call.
I do think Kitster's showing up.
We'll take our bets later.
But yeah, that was our talk on,
Book of
I almost said Obi-Wan, Book of Boba Fett.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a super fun series. I think we really enjoyed it overall. And so, yeah, I'm excited for Obi-Wan coming up next.
Yep. Just around the corner.
But yeah, that'll do it for us. If you guys are willing, drop us a like or a subscribe. We really appreciate it.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, we've actually gained some subscribers lately, so that's been great.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll look out for our next episodes. See ya.
See you later.
Bye.
See ya.